Okay. Yeah. So I'm just here at the cenotaph.
Keep it on the cenotaph.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you everyone.
So you just wanted to tell me why you're here today?
Yeah, I mean, I'm here when I was disgusted by what happened to the cenotaph. I'm against, like any normal human being is against what happened to that poor guy in America. Absolutely disgusting. Attacking our war memorial to our dead. It's got nothing to do with the guy who got killed in America. That represents my granddad. It represents all the men that fought to free this country. And so I thought I'd come along today to show a bit of support. There's a few lads turned up at Churchill statue. Yeah, and that's what it's all about, really.
And what do you think about what they're protesting, saying in the general subject of Black Lives Matter? What do you think of their message?
Yeah, all lives matter, and as I say, what happened to that guy was absolutely disgusting. Any decent human being would be against something like that. All lives matter. The black community's had a lot of shit in their life, by the way. They've been dug out. They used to get the National Front in this country, all that shit. They have had it through the years, the slave trade. As a 47-year-old Englishman, I had nothing to do with the slave trade. I didn't colonise the world. There's nothing to do with me. So I wouldn't want them hating me, by the way, because we seemed like we're all hated because of it. I'm just a regular guy. My best mate is black. So you're losing the argument coming and attacking this.
Yeah.
They were putting bikes up there. They were sitting on it. They was putting cardboard in front of the flowers. That's nothing to do with George Floyd. It's nothing to do with it. That's far left agitators come to show their hatred on their own country.
Yeah.
That's how it comes across.
I do try to, personally, I do try to see where people are coming from when they express their frustration and anger and emotions. I have to say, I do think that this whole lockdown actually does have a big part to play.
Frustration, mate. They've come out, they've been in the house for 11 weeks.
Exactly.
Everyone's fucking frustrated, mate.
Yes, very, very, very bored.
Exactly,
a lot of people. If George Floyd, we didn't have this lockdown, there still would have been protests about what happened to George Floyd. But I don't think.
I totally agree with you.
I don't think that it would be anywhere near as bad. We probably wouldn't even see outbreaks in other countries which are also having massive lockdowns.
And I would suggest some of the left, because of what happened in the election, have come out and vented their frustration.
Possibly.
If they was involved, I don't know. It looks a mixture, whether there was far left generally. Their general election anger of what happened, it was a landslide. That resentment's going to be there on the demo, that anger. That's how I see it. But.
So would you say, as your perspective, as someone who you and I, we have the privilege of not sharing the same experience as others. Would you say, from your perspective, is there still racism against people of colour, non-white people in this country, and black people?
I got tripped up by a black girl on Saturday night. So it's reverse racism now. Because racism can come from anywhere. The whites have got a fucking very bad past, by the way. When I was growing up, it was very racist, but racism can come from anywhere. Why did that girl trip me up the other night? Because
you say on Saturday?
Yeah, so Saturday night I was right here.
You were here and you were...
It was a sea of mostly black guys. I thought, well, the vibe didn't feel very white, mate. It felt a bit racist, if I'm being honest. I went to walk away. I thought I better walk a bit further down, and I got tripped up, because I'm white, basically. So it's reverse racism. You're coming here to protest against a disgusting racist attack on the... it was a race, putting your knee on someone else's neck, and then you're being racist yourself. It defeats the argument, doesn't it?
Right.
So
I noticed people across the road there. But I don't think I think there's mostly white there. It's interesting. I'll go speak. I'll make a note of
what we're here today.
No, they're sitting there now.
I
don't see any black person there.
There's
one girl.
Muslim girl. Yeah.
Muslim girl. Okay.
But you got on the demo. You had a mixture of white and black, which is good. This country's educated, so all the youth are no to racism. When I was growing up back in the day, there's a lot of racism about, but we've educated ourselves. The new youth are educated not to be racist, which is good.
Yeah, and
anti-cultural Marxism. That's the problem. They've been brainwashing you as everything.
They're brainwashed to hate their country, by the way.
Everything from every country was good. Everything British is bad. When there's actually good and bad.
right.
Colonising the world, they get brainwashed so
And
that
the
they
social
teach them to hate
distancing,
them.
they look all sit right next to each other.
And
Exactly, they're not 2 metres
When
apart.
people say Black Lives Matter,
This is worse
do,
than I
do
thought.
you
Look at that.
agree or disagree that it also says white lives don't matter?
No, at this particular time, they're just putting the guy was black who got killed, so they're just putting their point across that way. All lives matter, they know.
Yeah,
Like
I think.
No, some of them think that only their lives matter.
I would like to think that, you know, because then they're defeating the argument again, aren't they? Like,
Yeah,
But some of them do. Some of the left-wing extremists think so because they're so blinded by the ideology they don't care about human beings. A lot of them only care about ideology.
some.
Like Venezuela, that's
talking
gone to
about the
hell
black
under
people
Marxist
protesting.
dictatorship,
Yeah.
but yet they can't see further than their ideology. It's always ideology that matters to them, never human beings.
he's
Right.
talking about the black people protesting.
Yeah, I noticed also in America, you know, it was they had the looting and the destruction.
But looting's got
And
nothing to do with thieving. What's that got to do with anything?
Yeah, and
That's not respecting the man that's been murdered.
And
It's
anything, mate.
disgusting.
yeah, and it was mostly white. Well, I wouldn't say mostly, but there was a lot of incidents of it was white people who were doing instigating the trouble.
Is that
and,
far left doing that?
quite possibly.
They use whatever will get them votes. You know, that's how I see them people.
Oh well, I think
Whether it's Palestine, whether it's the
a lot of
IRA, whether
I think there are a lot of the very far left. They don't seem to care much for voting, but they just seem to want total wanton destruction of the entire system. They're now managed to convince the Minneapolis City Council to defund and dismantle the police force. So
that's ridiculous. You've got to have the police.
it's going to be insane, and we've seen the horrific attacks on police here.
It's disgusting. The other night, their lives were in danger. There was five and six of them in the corners getting attacked, bottles, and they were afraid to put their white gear on because they were afraid of the race car. Not any of them had their camera on. They did step up in the end on the third night because it was out of control.
Yeah.
I'm entitled to walk about here. I was here to support them. What happened to that man? And I was getting sideway glances. I got tripped up, and it was lawless. There was no one to back me up. I still didn't move. I just carried on walking around. Why should I move? But that's not right, you know. In the third night, the police come steaming out of Downing Street, hundreds of white police, and they put a stop to it. They kettled everyone here.
Yes.
The helicopter was going around above, and they nicked them.
They nicked a bunch of them and getting all their
girls
faces.
have been allowed to go, but most of the rioters have got nicked. You can't have it. It was lawless. Some of them get hurt. The officer got all blood down his face, didn't he?
Yes, that's what an
That's
officer.
what's going to happen. If you don't police it, you're scared to police it because of the race card.
Yeah. Well, I see, in Bristol, what do you think about what happened in Bristol?
Well, he's a slave trader, isn't he? So he's not my cup of tea. Fuck him, innit? You know what I mean? If that memorial's there because he's a slave trader, good within suit, I don't give a fuck about it, to be honest.
Very
but
good.
Not Churchill, mate. That man freed, in that particular war against Nazi Germany, he freed our country, helped keep our country free. Even.
Keep us free.
You know, and defend, when they invaded Poland, we declared war. You know, them two, fuck the one in Bristol. I can't give a monk. Some of these lads here today are saying, oh, it shouldn't have happened. I can't give a fuck. If he was a slave trader, fuck him, innit?
Yeah.
Enslaving people's not right, is it?
Yeah. It's interesting. I saw Colston's great grandson was actually commenting himself.
They defended him.
Well, I don't. Okay, someone claimed to be him using his name, so I can't know for sure. But yeah, he was saying but he did also do lots of good things.
What did he do that was good?
He built, and I'm not. This is what other people say. When I quote other people, I'm not advocating. I must make that very, very clear. He would say all the hospitals and the schools and everything he built. But at the same time, he built those on the backs of slaves. His wealth was created by.
But that's what our country. It's our shameful past. The
It is.
Empire. It's shameful, mate. You can't go to other people's countries, rip them off, enslave them. It's disgusting. I didn't do it.
And
why should I be hated because of that?
Yeah, and it seems they fit.
Why keep bringing it up? What are you doing if every new generation is being told about it? All you're doing is producing hate. It's not around anymore. We're totally against it.
And
come on, mate. This country now, if you say something racist, the police nick you straight away. Quite rightly so.
Yeah,
We're against all that, aren't we?
Yeah, It seems a lot of the BLM activists, listening to some of them, they say, one of the reasons we bring up the past so much is because we still are facing this, inequalities today. But then I think the inequality is more to do with class rather than race, because there are plenty of majority white council estates where there's massive unemployment and lack of opportunities. It's I'd say it's more to do with class rather than race. And in some places it would be disproportionately non-whites who are disadvantaged. In other places it might be majority white people who are
in poor areas.
Yeah, exactly.
Whitechapel, probably you've got poor communities.
A lot of poor, especially up north. I think places
in London as well, didn't they?
Yeah, some places. Yeah, yes, exactly. And it seems that.
What do you think about this country now? Social housing, there's 1.2 million people on social housing waiting. What do you think about that? What do you think?
Not right.
Do you think if you're staying in the EU, net migration is 400,000 every year?
Mm-hmm.
As a layman, where do these people live, mate? Where are they? There's people all around Trafalgar Square sleeping in the street. I've met an English couple. She's 18, just come from Bedford. She's been on the street a year. When you've had 50 years of immigration, all these people come here for a better life. Good luck to them. If everyone said they all got to go, I'd march against it. But can this country keep taking 400,000, 300,000 every year when you've already got 1 million waiting for social housing? Where's the housing, mate? Where? You could say there's loads of empty buildings. That's a counter argument. But that's owned by some millionaire, a Russian, or just their own property. What is the continued immigration? Where do these people? The country's bloated. That's how it seems. In London now, when you walk around at rush hour, we've had a couple of months off of it. It's like people all over each other. There's too many people. It's just too full up, mate. There's 9 million people in London. They're wondering why we've got a bad death rate. There's no fucking space. There's no space anywhere.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, you used to get a doctor's appointment the next morning. Now you have to wait a month. It's because there's too much. The woman who broke her ankle, she waited in the street 7 hours for an ambulance. When the ambulance finally come, she had a fucking cardiac arrest in the ambulance and died. So they didn't even get her to hospital because that day the ambulances were diverted that way, this, because other people need it. Because there's so many people here, mate. It's oversubscribed. That's everyone's welcome.
They often say, well, that's due to government cuts, and they're reducing funding to all these services.
Yeah, that's part of it.
And that's.
What about 50, 60 years of immigration? Is that adding to the problem? Is it racist to say it's adding to the problem? It's going to sound racist, people will use it. It's just what I see in front of me. My best mate is a black guy, so I couldn't give a monkey's about anyway. He's the nicest man you'll ever meet in your life. So we're all immigrants from somewhere, but it's an island, isn't it? We must have all come from somewhere originally. But just as the years go by, I don't know where these people live. They keep coming. There's no homes. It's a chronic shortage. You keep adding to it every year. People are scared to say anything. Yeah. That's how I see it as a layman. Non-racist, just say it's got to slow down one day. When we leave the EU, slow it down a bit.
Yeah.
If there's a doctor from India or Poland,
so you're in favour of skilled immigration?
Yeah, if you can use someone in a good way, it's good for them, but that's not a problem. If there's orphans in Syria, got no family, little kids, we'll take them in. But adult after adult, and they're coming in, they've got no home, they've got no job. No, it's not on, mate. It's got to slow down. I don't blame them coming here trying to survive, but...
What do you think about all the farms? You hear about the farms having labour shortage because of the lockdowns. A load of people
signed up for that, didn't they? A load of people signed up.
Yeah, and I heard somewhere that they started working the farms, but then they realised how exploitative it was.
Yeah, fucked off.
And they want to unionise. But so I think a lot of realities. I think a lot of realities started.
Are you a Labour supporter? You'd be left-leaning, or? Jeremy Corbyn, possibly.
No.
I respect everyone because it's democracy.
Yeah, no. I could not support
Did you
Labour.
vote in the election? I'm doing the interview now.
Yeah.
Did you vote in the election? No.
Are
Are you allowed to say Labour?
no,
mate?
I spoiled my vote.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You don't really want anyone. Don't trust anyone.
I have no confidence in Labour at the time.
Old Labour was working class for the workers.
Yeah.
New
It
Labour,
was, you're right, mate.
parasites. They go wherever there's a vote.
Yeah.
They will.
I-
They're bad. Keir Starmer and all that. He's my local MP. Corbyn. They don't get their politics, mate. Don't get it.
Yeah, I can
Any
support.
enemy of the country, they just go that way. We get votes out of that. Any issue, even
Surely Keir Starmer isn't as bad as Jeremy Corbyn. He seems a better speaker, and he doesn't seem to be as ultra left wing.
he used to represent human rights of terrorists. With Sadiq Khan, they used to, when they were both lawyers, they used to phone each other up and tip each other off. Human rights for terrorists. The people who get killed by terrorists have got no human rights because they're dead in the fucking ground. Yet you all represent the human rights of terrorists, and if anyone questions you, you'll say everyone's got human rights. Every human's got human rights.
So if I've got human
Not a
rights, that
terrorist.
means that I could just walk into those government buildings and be my human rights. It's not. I can't go in those government buildings unless I'm specifically invited.
Come into the because he's doing an ear thing. Come in.
Yeah, no, so I just thought I'd have a chat.
Can you hear him? He can join in.
If you, well, I want to. I've heard what you had to say, and thank you very much for speaking to me. If they're willing, I have to be fair and at least give them a chance.
Yeah, right, mate. It's democracy.
Yeah.
They believe these youth are the new ones who are taught not to be racist. When I was growing up, it was a lot of it. They good. Most of them were white. They're deluded with some of the things they come out with. Right?
Anti-cultural Marxism, putting the ideology.
They're brainwashed to hate the country. Some of them, We're getting racist shout at us yesterday by today Asian kids are going by racist. We've had it with white kids today. I'm not racist. I couldn't give a fuck about anyone, black, white, Jewish, brown. I don't give a fuck. If you don't interfere with me, gay people, I won't interfere with you. As soon as you got a Union Jack or you're proud of your country, you support the Queen, you're racist, you're a fascist, you're a Nazi. He's white, he must be, he's got a St George's flag, he must be a racist. No.
Yeah.
I'm born English, I can't help it's what I am. My flag is a St George's flag. In Pakistan they got their own flag, Nigeria got their own. My flag is a St George's flag. It's who I am, I was born like, I can't help it.
Mentioning pro-Pakistan for it's also got better justice system, they've got death penalty for murders. Also, if they went and vandalised the memorials in, say, Islamabad, they would be absolutely angry. If they went and vandalised...
in China, you'd go missing.
In Karachi, if they went and vandalised Jinnah's too, because they didn't agree with partition of India, they would be arrested,
In China, you'd go missing, you wouldn't be seen again. There's a guy earlier said about Turkey, they just shoot them. In China, you wouldn't even be seen again. They just snatch you off the street. There's a Chinese guy used to come to the Brexit demonstrations, and they used to demonstrate every day out there, sleep out. He said in China, you just go missing.
Yeah, and
So he's here. When he's here, he knows how great it is. You've got freedom. You've got freedom of speech. You've got rights. Some of these countries ain't got it. Communist country, isn't it, China? Isn't it?
But America's got freedom of speech, it's got freedom of religion, but it doesn't mean the freedom to engage in destructive riots. Even Lyndon Baines Johnson said they're not much of human rights, it's criminal conduct. Even when the Detroit riots happened in 1967, he said that pillaging, looting, murder and arson is not human rights, it's criminal conduct.
How old are you, my friend?
my late 20s. Well,
Do you believe? I mean, you're obviously on the internet, I would say.
yeah.
Do you believe the country's come forward with the race issue, like how we used to be?
Compared to how we used to be,
National front
long
and all
time
that.
ago,
We've educated ourselves not to be like it. We
Possi-
stamp down
yes.
on it. We do, don't we?
we seem to. However, I can't speak for other people because I haven't shared their experience. So,
We're not all like that, mate. We're not.
like
we're not.
for example, would I get more or less responses if I submitted a CV with a non-English name? And that's been an issue. That's been an issue.
I get all that. There's racism, but then again, what you've got to understand is the other night I got tripped up by a black girl. So racism comes from everywhere. My mate Adi tries to defend when I say blacks can be racist. He argues it. So I've got a newspaper clipping of two slim black males who they was looking for in Stamford Hill, stamped on a Jewish guy's head, battered him, you Jewish cunt. I said, put it in his face. I said, that is racism. And he couldn't. Racism can come from everywhere, man. It's not exclusive to white men. It can come from anywhere. So, but everyone wants it. the narrative that it's just exclusive to white, older, middle-aged men in England. No, we used to be like that. Racism can come from anywhere. My friend was in Whitechapel about a month ago. He's a homeless guy. He goes there and eats. He walks into an Asian restaurant. 4 Asian males come in, youths, and they said to the Asian restaurant owner, you're serving white man now. So the Asian restaurant owner, fair play to him, he said, look, this guy comes in there, eats his food, pays for it, doesn't say nothing to him, and he goes. If you don't like it, you go and find somewhere to eat. And he's an Asian, so he said it to the Asian youth, he's Asian himself. So reverse racism. You know, the demo the other night is about a racist killing. The geezer was a racist policeman. But then I'm being tripped up because I'm white. So it's counterproductive, isn't it?
It was just an excuse
Reverse
for disorderly
racism.
behaviour. They weren't really concerned about it, I don't think.
There
so.
was
They
a
were
racist-
using it- They were using it as a smokescreen for criminal behaviour.
Saturday, Sunday night, there was a racist vibe in the air, mate. I was getting sideways looks, and I thought, don't get paranoid, right? Because I was on my own most of the time, but I've got a right to be here. But I'd get a sideways look, and then I'd get a sideways look, and then they'd walk up, and then that, just because I'm white. So they'll be on the internet saying, National Front, idiot, you're being racist yourself. So,
I mean, do you think?
I think there's an
Is it more? Could it be more?
no, because you're
Could it
afraid,
be-
it's a race card, you're afraid to tell the truth.
Could it be more they think that you're-
because of who you are? That's harassment. That's
Could-
criminal
It's
assault.
racist because I'm white. It was a
Could-
sea of black men. They were fucking hardcore. They had
Right.
balaclava. It was dangerous, mate.
Could it also be they think that you might be against their message
Maybe.
more than
In the
more than colour?
demonstration all day, there's loads of white people there. In the demos, you would see one guy on the radio, black guy, said for every white black person, there was like 3 or 4 white people. So why is it all right for them, you know, to be on the demonstration and there's no problem? I thought we was all people was marching together against it, any decent human being.
Do you think that? That makes me think.
What happened is it brought out a racist black element,
Right.
who just don't like white people, and I was in the wrong place. This here,
So
looking that way, it was all black people, and they had balaclavas on.
Right.
And I thought, what the fuck am I doing here?
I mean, that's
Well,
why
I've got a
public
right to be
place
here.
coverage
yeah,
should be banned.
but so
I thought I'll have a walk down, get out of the way, and I got tripped. There's one white guy with his kid. He thought, you know.
I'm now thinking the fact that they saw you in front of them rather than behind them,
I was in the middle of them.
like when you saw them coming towards you.
No, they was all facing this way. The line of police was there. I was just about over there. They was all facing that way, like.
So
towards the
so
police.
were you here before
Yeah.
they arrived?
No, I come along and walked in. People were coming and going. That's the people.
Oh, I
moving
see.
around
I
all
see. So
day.
you walked alongside them.
Yeah,
So
'cause this
then
is-
at least
this is
they.
just all people.
It sounds like from what you're saying. It sounds like they did definitely profiled you.
Yeah.
Like
She tripped me up 'cause I was a white man.
What we wear is a big factor.
That's
Like,
fair play. I get all that. I get all that.
And-
You're lefty in the daytime, and they're not going to be dressed like me. I look like a
Exactly.
bit of a lad.
So the white people protesting with them, I wonder if they had, if one of them had stood with you next to you,
probably nothing would happen.
would they have both? Would you have both been profiled the same way?
Probably
The
not.
other one could have been accused of being an Uncle Tom or something.
Probably not.
Look at Anthony Hervey.
I probably look like a Tommy Robertson supporter or a National Front or BNP, although they don't even exist anymore. That's probably how I look. I'm actually there supporting them. You're defeating the object, whoever's standing there. I'm not shouting at black this or national. I'm standing there. You don't interfere with other people. It's reverse racism, mate. Everyone's scared to say anything.
Right.
And that's quite kind of Orwellian newspeak, George Orwell's 1984. It is basically, and it's also collective attitude denial. When
Yeah.
wrong things happen, people deny it. Like when there's baby death care scandals in NHS, people deny it, the importance of it, because they're so idol worshipping the NHS. When carers abuse people in their own homes, in care homes, people trivialise it because it's not their own family and not themselves being abused, because they like to put the blinkers on. It's the ostrich effect.
Some of them old white people in them homes, you get videos where a black care worker, it could be anyone by the way, you had a Polish birth of it, so it could be anyone, and they're slapping them and all
But
that. It's
there was a
disgusting.
white woman. She was harassing someone.
That could
in
be
her own
anyone
home.
doing that,
She
by the way. It
called
could
for
be
that.
English.
That's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be going on. Stacey George in Northamptonshire.
Look at Grenfell when the terrible fire. People were going into the council stealing money, saying I was in the fire. You know, and the majority of the people doing it were black people. They're absolutely disgusting. There was no Englishman, mate. I would never dream you're going to thieve money off the back of a fucking dreadful fire where people burnt to death. There's no English people doing that. If you said that, oh look, some of the black, mostly black out of the black community. If you said it, you wouldn't be able to say it because probably as I'm saying it now, you're thinking, oh, that sounds racist.
Well, people.
If it's a Tommy Robinson march coming out marching against gang rape and terrorism, you're a racist. Nazis scum off our street straight away.
Right.
If you call out something in their community,
Yeah.
look at the black on black crime. Why do they never march against black on black crime? When there's black youth stabbed, why do they come and march? The white girl in Romford last year, 17-year-old girl, had a knife rammed in her back. She died in the playground.
That's murder.